Hey everyone, Kumar here. Today we're going to be looking at the Ultimus 7 node A5 tanks. This is a part of a series of videos explaining different Ultimus 7 fights and the best ways to approach them. All the teams I use might not be applicable to your roster, but don't worry, the techniques here should still be very helpful. Few things to note, these are not perfect attempts. I picked runs where RNG is not optimal because I want to show you how things will look on an average day. Next thing to note is that this is difficulty 4. Your difficulty might be different, but the general strategies should still apply. Alright, let's look at the node itself. Why are we looking at A5 tanks? Well, I consider this to be the first tricky node of Ultimus 7 Lane 1. Maybe not the first hard node, but the first tricky one. The one I see a lot of people stumbling on at first. So what we need to do is actually look at who we'll be facing. What I consider to be the first real threat of this is the shield troopers. And after that, you'll be looking at the crossbones. Now the shield troopers will do tons of passive damage, which is a lot more dangerous than people realize. You'll get caught in a situation where both of these shield troopers will be hitting you at once every time you attack, and you will just get ground down. The next thing is that the crossbones will explode on their second turns, potentially wiping you out if you're either unprepared or your roster is a little underpowered for the fight. So what you need to do is really manage these two characters and work around them by either taking them down early or being able to survive their attacks. Now, the team I'll be using today is a hybrid symbiote team. I don't want to go into great detail about them now. I'll probably do another video about them later, but they're a very good team, and if you can build them up, I strongly suggest it. The way that Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man work is that whenever an opponent falls below 25%, Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man will be healed and they'll be given speed. Anytime a debuff is applied to the opponent, Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man will be healed. Now, the other two on the right here are Yo-Yo and Black Bolt. Every opponent's turn, Yo-Yo will apply offense down to the opponent. Yo-Yo's basic will gain assist from Black Bolt, and Black Bolt himself is the highest damage dealing character in the game right now. Maybe the best character in the game. If you're going to be doing the higher Ultimus 7 nodes, you're going to need him. And finally, the primary healer is Shuri. Because the symbiotes heal themselves pretty well, Shuri's able to focus on Yo-Yo and Black Bolt, and you'll also see that her defense up combined with Yo-Yo's offense down is a very potent combo. She also was able to provide some energy with her special, which is always nice. And alright, let's start looking at the actual fight. Now at the beginning, you're going to want to pause for a second and assess the waves, what's happening. So the first thing to note here is the shield trooper. He's going to be one of our primary targets early on because we don't want to really get caught with multiple shield troopers on the field. That's when the damage can really start adding up. The next thing to note is the tanks. Crossbones will explode on his second turn, but he will taunt turn 1. So you're going to be able to get attacks in on him, but you also want to make sure you don't let him stay up too long, otherwise it can turn bad quickly. Captain America, on the other hand, will not taunt turn 1. He's going to taunt turn 2, and he's going to do a shield throw turn 1. Not really a big threat, not someone I'd be overly concerned about, but if you leave him up and more shield troopers start dropping, it becomes a real hassle because more tanks will come. The last thing to really focus on and keep your mind on is Nick Fury. Nick Fury can be very dangerous as he will buff everyone if you don't have Black Bolt. Black Bolt will apply Disrupt to Nick Fury when Nick Fury uses his ultimate ability to summon minions. Now if you don't have Black Bolt, the fight can become a bit more complex where you need to make sure that Nick Fury does not spread his buffs. I'll show you in a moment exactly how Black Bolt negates Nick Fury. So right here we can see that when Nick Fury summons his minions, Black Bolt applies Disrupted to him, and Nick Fury basically can't spread any buffs because he doesn't have them anymore. Now the fight's continuing on, and we're seeing that we're focusing on Shield Trooper, just trying to get him down. And then we basically hit a point where we need to decide who to stun with Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, the two options, in my opinion, are the tanks. You can either do Crossbones, or you can do Captain America. Captain America is less of a threat because he's not going to be taunting on his first turn. When you apply slow to him, he's not going to be able to do very much very quickly. The real threat is Crossbones, who's going to be taunting as fast as possible, and if Crossbones taunt, you won't really be able to work on Nick Fury or Shield Trooper. At that point, we're now going to start spreading some damage around a bit, just to get everyone a little weak, because Shield Trooper's already pretty hurt. Now, here's maybe where I made my first mistake, or maybe a choice that I would like to have back. It didn't really affect the end results, but I tried to burn down Crossbones a little early here, and the damage just didn't click. So you're going to see me use my special on here. Probably should have used the basic. Again, not a perfect run. You can make mistakes and still recover pretty easily. Now here we're going to be using Spider-Man's special to refresh the buffs, and we're getting everyone to pretty low life here. We're going to try to just peck down some of these guys before they go off, before they can start hitting us with their stronger moves. Now here is where we see another wave drop. This is where you kind of want to mentally pause again, reassess the field, see who's there. Right now, I'm not particularly happy to see two Shield Troopers up at the same time. That's a bit concerning, but we'll take care of that. The next thing to make note of is Crossbones back there. Again, he'll be taunting and exploding in 2 turns, so we need to make note of that. And the last thing to really look at is that there are 2 more tanks up now. There's the Hydra tank, and there's Captain America. If those guys start taunting with those Shield Troopers, it's going to be a lot of damage, and it's going to be really hard to mitigate it. So we're going to have to start looking at stopping the tanks from taunting and taking care of the Shield Troopers, and then rotating from there. So we're going to start on just finishing off that Shield Trooper. He's very low. Here I'm starting to apply offense downs because I know that my Black Bolt is about to go off. And suddenly things became a lot easier. We lost both the Shield Troopers, and now it's cleanup. Right now I am just applying defense downs. I'm trying to manage damage. I don't really want to kill them all too quickly. I want to wipe out as much of the wave at the same time as I can. And another freeze frame. It's now, we have another wave dropped, and we need to really reassess the field again. Now this wave's a little bit different because you have another Nick Fury, you have another Trooper, and you have 2 shield assaults. This wave's a little trickier because fundamentally what they're going to try to do is Nick Fury's going to try to buff the 2 shield assaults, and that burst damage is going to do a lot of damage, and then the Crossbones is supposed to really hit with that 3rd wave. So you have to be a little bit cognizant of the Shield Troopers here. They will catch you off guard otherwise. But we're still going to keep the same strategy of working down the troopers, looking at the crossbones. Black Bolt will negate the Nick Fury. Similar strategy, just we have to be a little bit more worried about the shield assaults. So we're just spreading defense down. Defense down's really key here. It just really helps you focus things down very quickly. Now here again we have one of my maybe questionable choices. The logic behind it right now is that I want to get everyone down as low as possible. I didn't want to burn my ultimate here and apply a stun. If this was a close fight and I was worried, I would absolutely do that. But I'm getting the sense that I'm going to win this round pretty handedly, and I want to save that for the next fight. So I do the special instead and just try to get some raw damage out there. Keep the defense down running on crossbones and just work from there. And just like before, Black Bolt negates Nick Fury by putting Disrupt on him. And you're seeing here the assaults are going off, but because Yo-Yo applied offense down on them, and I have defense up from Shuri, that timing was really important. That basically made sure they did no damage. That along with Nick Fury not being able to buff them. Now here, instead of going for Shield Trooper, I'm going for Crossbones. The real reason there is because right now I don't think Trooper will be able to really do enough to overwhelm my team. I'm more worried about getting Crossbones down, who can do some significant damage if I'm not careful. I used Carnage's special. This time it did a lot of damage because I timed it correctly and it wiped out Crossbones. And Nick Fury here just because I want to get him down. Again, I know he can do more than Shield Trooper right now. And at this point, it's just cleanup, spreading those defense downs and just finishing them off. You actually don't want to go too fast at this stage because you want to let your cooldowns build back up. So I try to take it slow here, trying to get as many characters as many turns. And this is U7.4. It's difficulty 4. This is one of the harder fights you're going to see. This team is very good against them, but the general strategies on how to rotate, who to hit first, that's really what's going to help you out. Worry about the shield troopers, worry about the crossbones. If you don't have Black Bolt, you need to make sure that Nick Fury is not spreading his buffs. You want to make sure the two tanks that appear by wave 2 are taken care of. Hopefully that helped, and I'll be back later with more videos.